lost a lot of weight, some may say, but I lost a lot of weight in my life, but this wasn't easy. I've made a lot of mistakes in the past, and I want to share with you today the three top mistakes that I made that honestly made the process take a lot longer than it should have and cost me a lot of years. And I'm not here want to say that I lost weight in a very simple process, three easy steps. It wasn't. It took me a lot of years, and a lot of these years were just taken up by making these same mistakes over and over again. And today I'm gonna share with you so you don't make the same mistakes yourself. And before I get into this, if you're watching me on live right now, just type live down in the comments below. Or if you're watching me at a later time on the replay, just type replay down below so I know when you saw this video and when you got this information. So the first mistake that I made is one that a lot of people make, and it's that I used to focus only on the scale. My entire self-worth or success or feelings of failure were only judged by what the scale told me. I disregarded every single habit, every single non-negotiable, all the things that allowed me to lose the weight, and I only focused on the scale. And this may sound like it's you, and if it's you, drop a fire emoji down below if you just your tunnel vision on the scale and not focus on anything else. This was a huge mistake for me because I took very drastic approaches to try to reach a number on the scale that I deemed to be proper. And what happened was I had these huge bumps of weight loss every week. And I tried to reach those same amounts of weight loss every other week. And I was unsuccessful because if you lose a ton of weight in one week, you will likely not reach that same amount of weight loss the next week because you took a very drastic approach to lose a lot of weight in the beginning. Maybe doing tons of cardio, which is what I personally did, hours and hours of cardio, severely under eating and skipping meals. Yeah, I lost 10 pounds in a week, but I was almost never able to replicate that amount of weight loss again. So this was a huge mental shift for me. So once I started to back away from the scale, I started to focus on the habits that I was doing, the food that I was eating, trying to look at what's a healthy way of living that will allow me to reach the number on the scale over a long period of time. And the whole instant gratification is what a lot of people don't want to achieve. People want, or they want to achieve instant gratification, but they don't look at the long term success and sustainability. And once I started to focus on, is this actually sustainable? That's when I actually started making the most and biggest difference for me. So I started focusing on a pound, maximum 2 pounds per week of weight loss, instead of trying to aim on 6 pounds per week. And that was one of the biggest changes for me. And the second mistake that I made was I didn't know any better. I can see why, because I had a lot of misinformation back in the day. But I used to look at food as being either good or bad for you. I didn't know any better. What this caused me to do is whenever I ate the quote unquote bad food, which you shouldn't even look at as bad food, there's no good or bad food. Food is just energy. Once I ate a piece of bad food, whether it was ice cream, maybe it was a few fries, like I love potatoes, I love french fries. So whenever I used to eat bad food, I used to get tremendous feelings of guilt. I used to skip meals, starve myself, or maybe if I had something bad in the first half of the day, my second half of the day was just completely just me drinking water and maybe eating lettuce, and that was it. So this was a very unhealthy way of looking at food. There is no good or bad food. Some food is more caloric, some food is less caloric. Some food fills you up more, some food fills you up for less. And it's how you balance these things that will make the ultimate difference. And once I started to not look at food as good or bad, I began to make better and more conscious choices. So before, if I used to skip meals or starve myself afterwards, now maybe I had some previously bad food, but now I just had better food for me in the other half of the day or the meals following that bad food. And this is a very simple, not simple, but it's a very common mistake that I see every single time. And just because you eat a piece of candy doesn't mean that it's a bad food for you. It just means that it has more calories in it and it's not going to fill you up for nearly as much as if your choices were maybe an apple or maybe a salad or something like that. There's no good or bad food. Unless it's rotten or spoiled or it tastes bad, then yeah, it's bad. But it's just more calories, more nutrients, less nutrients. That is it. And if you're currently looking at foods either being good or bad, type in good down below because this is a very, very common mistake. And until you break the habit of separating food choices like this, it will be a very, very difficult process. And a third mistake that I made was I used to rely on very specific foods in order to lose weight. I thought that I had to eat chicken breast, broccoli, egg whites, or eggs, or brown rice, or just very, very specific uh, weight loss foods that people maybe are eating right now. And I hated every single second of it, which is why I don't eat brown rice anymore. I just got sick and tired of it and it just never tasted good to me. And once I began to not or to separate myself away from the traditional weight loss or bodybuilding foods, that's when the whole entire process became a lot more easier for me because food is just energy. And you don't have to eat chicken breast and broccoli and brown rice or whatever or protein shakes every single day. Nobody is forcing you, and there's no need to drink or eat that food because it's just about getting the calories in that's relevant for you, the amount of protein relevant for your goals, and that's it. And how you meet those calories is the most important thing. There's no requirement to eat eggs, but I just choose to eat eggs every day because I like it. And once you begin to actually like what you're eating, the entire process becomes so much more easier and sustainable that you don't feel so forced to eat anything specific. But in a weight loss phase, you will generally eat very similar foods. It's just the way that it is. It's up to you to make those foods taste better or different as often as possible so you don't get bored of it. But know that your choices aren't limited to 10 or 12 different food choices, unless you want it to be. Some people do. But there's different ways to get your calories in. There's different proteins you can eat, different carbs. You don't have to eat brown rice. You don't have to eat white rice. You can eat potatoes, you can eat quinoa, beans, whatever you want to do, as long as it fits your nutritional outline that's relevant for your goals. That's the most important thing. So these are my three biggest mistakes that I made when I was losing weight. And these mistakes honestly cost me a lot of years. I plateaued for a long time, which is why I'm so open about, the struggles that I had so you don't make the same mistakes yourself. And if this video was valuable to you, drop a fire emoji down below and let me know what your biggest takeaway was from this video and if you're currently making those mistakes yourself. And make sure you like the video and share it in case somebody else may come across this video and see this themselves. So it will help them out as well. And I will see you next time.